Hello pupils, this is a strategy on total unchanged ratio question. This is extracted from a heuristic worksheet, question 4. Let us read the question first and slowly analyze it. Jaslyn had two identical jars. Two identical, okay, so take note of the word identical, that means it's exactly the same, filled with mixtures of syrup and water. So inside containing syrup and water. The ratio of the amount of syrup to the amount of water in the first jar was 5:1. Okay, so this 5 is 5 units for syrup, and this 1 stands for 1 unit for water. And all this, they are from jar 1. Okay, so once you understand this part, you can read on. In the second jar was 6:1. So what does this 6 represent? This 6 represents 6 units for syrup, and this 1 represents 1 unit for water. And this is in jar 2. Okay? Okay. And he emptied both jars into a large tank. So he emptied both jars into a large tank. That means it is a combined, okay, of jar 1 and jar 2. Okay, now the question is, what was the ratio of the amount of syrup to the amount of water in the tank, in the large tank? So now you know that you have to combine both jar 1 and jar 2 together. Well, what can you learn from here? How do we know that this is total unchanged? Knowing the fact that the two jars, they are identical. Okay, since they are identical, that means they are exactly the same. If they are exactly the same, that means their total must be the same. So jar 1 total is equal to jar 2 total of syrup and water. Okay, so that's easy. So I'm going to write it down. Jar 1 first. Okay, jar 1. Syrup is to water. Okay, 5:1. Okay, and now we have jar 2. Syrup is to water. Writing the title is very important so that you know that the units is actually equate to what. So over here is 6:1. Okay, so knowing the fact that both jars are identical, their total should be the same. So I'm going to write the total, but before I write it, I must write the title of it first. Very important, children. Okay, or else you will not know what you're doing. So total. For jar 1, the total is how many units? 6 units. 5 plus 1. Next, jar 2, how many units are there? Okay, 7 units. 6 plus 1. So, well, for jar 1 is 6 units, jar 2 is 7 units. How can that be, right? They should be the same because they are identical. So I need to make them to be the same. Okay, so what do I do now? I will have to take a look at this. How do I equate them to be the same? Well, times 7 here. And over here, jar 2, I have to times 6. And that's very good. So once you got it, now 6 times 7, I'll get 42u. Okay, 7 times 6 is also 42u. Yay, now the total is the same. Hey, but the distribution of syrup and water in each of the jars cannot remain as 5:1 and 6:1. So we got to do something about it. Since I times 7 for this, I have to times 7 for both. Okay, and what do I get? 1 times 7 give me 7. 5 times 7 give me 35. And I know that 35 plus 7, it will give me 42. Correct? So now, next, on jar 2, I have to times 6 here. This one, I have to times 6 as well. Okay? 1 times 6 give me 6. 6 times 6 give me 36. Okay? And 36 plus 6 will also give me 42. Okay, so this particular part, okay, is what we need to focus on, okay? Not the front part, but this part where we have equate the total to be the same. Okay, so now just focus on this alone. Okay, now they ask you, what was the new ratio of the amount of syrup is to water in the tank? Simply, since I have equate them to be the same, that means the parts must be the same for this one and this one. Very simple. What I can do is to do S for syrup is 35U plus 36U. And that will give me 71U. Okay, as for water, it is 7U plus 6U, and that will give me 13U. And if I want syrup is to water, okay, what do I get? So syrup, I have to drop the units, remember? So 71 is to 13. And that is the answer. 71 is to 13. Well, hope you understand.